This is a great time to plan for your garden. It's cold in Tennessee, and maybe like me, you don't have a greenhouse. Come along with me and see what I'm doing to prepare for this little garden of mine. My name is Jenny. Welcome to this little garden of mine. Gardening can seem so overwhelming. We have access to an abundance of information, which is great, but it can be difficult to even know where to start. My husband and I started our first garden with just one small raised bed, growing a couple of vegetables. Each year, we added more raised beds and continue to learn as we grow. This year, I have over 20 different foods and about 10 herbs and flowers that I have in our garden plan for this year. A great first step is to simply decide what vegetables you can grow and you'll actually eat. It's great to try new things, but you have to be practical when planning your garden. Make a list of all the fruits and vegetables you like to eat, and then choose some of your favorites to start growing. This year, I added eggplant and a few different flowers as something new to try. For our first gardens, we simply picked up plants and seeds from our big box hardware stores. This year, I've actually purchased organic heirloom seeds from a website online that a friend recommended. Now, they didn't have all the seeds that I wanted, so I'll still end up picking up some things from the local store too. Remember also that each plant can produce a lot of food. You don't need 5 zucchini plants unless you plan to give food to the entire city. Usually 1 or 2 of each plant is plenty to provide what you need. Recently, I began planning my beds using Google Slides. It's like PowerPoint. Last year, I used graph paper, which is great, but sometimes I like the ease of changing things in a document. There seem to be a lot of great software programs available specifically for gardening, but I knew that I could do something free, and so I went for it. I'm no stranger to creating documents, and so it was fairly easy for me to begin, and I do like the results so far. I will have a separate video talking about how you can create a digital garden plan also. Right now we have 6 raised beds. They're made with wood that we purchased at Lowe's, and they were very simple. We did purchase truckloads of garden soil and compost from a local company here. And then we also supplemented with bags of garden soil from the hardware store as we needed them through the year. Where to plant each item has not been the easiest thing I've ever learned. There's a lot to learn about companion planting. In this process, Google search has definitely been my friend. You have to consider what each plant needs from the soil, what they put into the soil, and even some natural pest control. Thankfully, there are simple companion planting lists online. When deciding what to plant with my tomatoes, I simply search what to plant with tomatoes. This works with any plant you have. And for pest control, just add for pest control to your search, and there's a whole list of plants and flowers that help keep the bugs away. Then, of course, there's the fun of crop rotation. With raised beds, I am learning it's not a requirement for me to rotate my plants, but I do feel like it's going to be beneficial. This is where the health of your soil matters, that certain plants give nutrients that the next plant needs more of. To help me know when to start each of my seeds, I did find a free planning calendar online at seedtime.us. Often we get excited about the first sign of spring and we can end up planting too early. Thankfully, I was blessed last year that the frost did not kill my young plants. The planning calendar is going to help me organize the order I need to start my seeds. Of course, you can always make this kind of list on paper too. I actually hope to create a sort of month-by-month task list that I can use each year. I am going to begin to put together an action plan to refresh each of our beds, transplant a few container plants, and get the irrigation system set up. Personally, I feel like making a list helps me to stay focused on the task at hand and prioritize each item. And then I don't spend so much time worrying about what I need to do because I have it written down, so I won't forget. I also decided to purchase a book for gardening beginners this year. I found someone online who's in the same general growing area as me, and her videos seem simple. She has the book Vegetable Gardening for Beginners by Jill McSheehy. And it's so far, it's been a great book. Everything online is great, but there's just something about holding a book that I like. We do have several great books passed down from parents, but I also like having something with updated methods in it. And so far it has been simple, and it's helping to guide me in my planning for this year. You can actually follow Beginner's Garden with Jill on YouTube and on Instagram. This year I do have some goals that I would like to accomplish for my gardening season. I desire to have better records for my garden. So this year I'm going to be trying out a few different things, like building my beds on the computer and creating the monthly task list. I also hope to keep a journal this year so I can remember how well each plant produced and keep track of any problems I had with pests. I also want to work on preserving more of the foods that we grow. Last year I canned a lot of green beans and a few of the jalapeno peppers. This year I also hope to can carrots and tomatoes, as well as make salsa. Just practical things for my family that benefit us, and taking small steps. So I'm not trying to do everything at once and getting too overwhelmed and just wanting to quit. So it's great to have gardening goals and to learn just a few new things each year. Learning everything at once can be very overwhelming to our brains and our time. So take it easy and keep it simple. I do hope this video has given you a place to start. Now take a deep breath and take one thing at a time. Happy gardening.